being a loner sucks. It can be a really weird thing to kind of navigate the world just by yourself. Like I know that feeling where it's just like you do whatever you can to kind of either fit in or you just kind of stick to your own principles and you don't really, kind of blend in with the crowd or any of your friends or whoever else is in your life. And it can get kind of annoying because I think one of the big things in life is having human connection and being able to essentially just grow together and bond together. Like I think if you Google it, having social connection is one of the best ways and the most important things to kind of live a healthy life and live a good life. But when you're a loner, it's hard, especially when it's if you struggle with I don't know, maybe you're not neurotypical or maybe you're just somebody who's introverted or you're not as confident. Or I don't really say confident because I think it's some people have genuine issues that help, it hurts them to socialize. And when you're in that position, it can be really hard. And even if you do know how to socialize, there can be many instances in your life where you just don't relate to anybody at all. It's just super lonely. You can have a room full of friends and just have a bunch of people to hit up, and it's just not it. It's not the move. And I think it's more than just having people to talk to. I think the main thing is just having some kind of connection with somebody who gets you. And usually when you're a loner, it's the reason is that you just can't find anybody to essentially relate to or connect with. And it can be a really awful feeling because I think life can just be a lot easier when you have people around you who can help you. The biggest things for successful people is literally get a team of people who have the same like-mind goal so you guys can work together and pull off each other and your strengths and weaknesses and kind of work off each other and just kind of become better overall. It's the main thing that people tell you, right? And it's the same thing with life too. If you're just struggling through anything or if you want to share something with somebody, it's always fun to live life with people. And when you're alone, it's really hard to do that. But I've been in that situation before where it's you feel lonely and you don't really have any friends around you, so you try to go make some friends. And that can work, sometimes it works for people where you go out and you get involved with clubs and organizations and stuff like that, or just anything in general. Maybe you're in college or you're in high school, join the sports team or whatever, and you start making friends, you find a common interest, and that can work for some people. It's good advice, but I think sometimes you can still fall into this rut of just genuine depression. Or not depression. Well, I guess being lonely can cause depression, but it's just a symptom of it, loneliness doesn't matter how many people you know or not. If you're not getting that emotional connection with somebody and you still feel out of place, even when you're around other people, that can be even more lonely. And it's just a negative cycle that kind of feeds off of everything, and it's not good. It's very toxic and it just sucks. And I've been in situations like that where you have a lot of friends and you kind of hang out and you probably just do it out of desperation because you're just so lonely and you don't want to be a loser who has no friends. So that social expectation kind of kicks in, so you just hang out with people you don't really want to hang out with. And it's not that these people are bad people, it's just you don't vibe with them, you don't connect with them. You just don't feel like you belong in their circle. And it can be very lonely, and so sometimes you just isolate yourself into the abyss and you just don't really want to connect with anybody. And I might have a bit of a controversial take. Well, it's not really controversial, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You kind of bounce from squad to squad. You kind of go around places. Like I've had that in my life where I've joined sports clubs or I've joined other clubs or just had a bunch of friends that I hung out with, went to parties, and that stuff's all cool, but like I don't feel any better about my situation. It's not like, yeah, I can meet a bunch of people, but half of them I'm going to forget because I just don't like them. And it's not because like they're mean people, it's just again, I don't have that connection with anybody. And so it's really lonely. And I mean, you could kind of say it's a wasted time, but I don't think it's wasted time because I did learn a lot from it. But there is a side of me that does regret a lot of the things that I did, and just doing that wasn't really worth my time because I wish I had just spent that time alone, by myself, working on myself, learning about myself. I think I would have been happier. And I'm kind of doing that right now, and it's really awesome. It's really cool because when you're by yourself, you kind of again learn more about yourself, and there's something really cool about just working on yourself and just trying to figure out how you fit in this world and just kind of navigating your own path. Because one thing I do notice is when you're around people, you tend to kind of copy a lot of their mannerisms, the way they talk, their interests, and it kind of molds you into somebody that you're not, right? Like people say that all the time, where it's like the circle you surround yourself with is really important because that's who you end up becoming. And again, if you're around people who you vibe with and you like, and all of you guys are reaching a common goal that you want to achieve, like that's cool. But sometimes you're not going to align with people like that. Not everybody wants to be around people that are not really helping them. Some people just have different ambitions and different goals, and that's perfectly normal. You're not going to click with a lot of people, and I don't think you should just stick with them just because you have this fear of being lonely and you need some kind of validation from somebody. And this doesn't have to be like friendships, this can also be like relationships, like girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever. It's just a common thing I think a lot of people go through. I think loneliness is like rising like crazy between like young adults, and I don't blame them. Like it's hard to find actual connection anywhere. And so I think being alone is cool. It's kind of loserish in a way. It's just like societal expectation bullshit, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I'm learning that right now. It's like being alone is genuinely like kind of freeing because it gives you a whole world of possibilities. Because there was times where like I would be around people in like school or whatever, and like I did a lot of like I guess like this isn't a bad thing per se, but like I guess for me I consider it bad because like I did lose a lot of my personality, but like I was surrounded by a lot of like really like smart kids who were like academically like gifted, and they loved school, and they were like a bunch of AP kids, and they like were really into like just AP classes, and I don't even think they were doing it for like the genuine benefits of like getting free college or whatever. They just wanted to like prove to themselves that like I'm doing a bunch of AP classes, I'm so smart. And obviously I was like a teenager at this time, so I was like really impressionable, so like I was just blindly doing the things that they were doing, and I was miserable. And the reason I was miserable was just because like I had no interest in high school or any of school. I wasn't an academic, and like sure, I mean it's a good thing because like that did help me get into college and I got a scholarship, but I was still really miserable throughout those 4 or 5 years I spent in school just trying to grind and do something that I didn't even care about. When in reality, I wish I just spent more time pursuing the interest that I had, which was more creative and just more fun stuff. And yeah, I might have not led anywhere productive, but I think that's kind of the risk you have to take with taking a chance on yourself and understanding yourself, is that it's going to be scary, it's going to be risky, but that's why you have to kind of do it. Like chasing your own path it's scary, right? Like that's why people fall in line, because it's easier. to just follow things. And I'm not trying to say this is like some lone wolf type stuff, that you're better than everybody else. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Because you can still work like normal day jobs and, like, chase what you want. Like, it doesn't matter. But I think the most important thing is just like understanding what you want out of your life and just going and chasing it, even though it might seem impossible. And in doing that, you'll be a loner. And it's scary and it's tough, but I think it's worth it. And I've slowly started realizing that there's times where I like look at my friends and stuff and they're doing really well and they seem like they're having fun, but I don't know what they are. I don't know, cuz like they're just their own people. They're chasing their own thing and I'm chasing my own thing. You just got to have faith in the process and hope that it works out for you. So yeah, I guess be a loner. Like, don't be afraid of it. There's nothing wrong with being alone. And if you really are lonely, just go, maybe like go outside and meet some people, see if that helps. But, you know, if you feel like you're forcing yourself to just like hang out with people just for the sake of like not being alone, then maybe you shouldn't hang out with those people. You should want to hang out with people, right? Like, you should never have to force a relationship just for the sake of having a relationship. It should just come naturally to you. That's just my viewpoint. I might be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of my tangent about being a loner. It's cool, I guess. Yeah, that's it.